Question from a gentleman: did you actually buy your own private jet? He actually did buy his own private jet. He's sitting on it. It was actually his crazy idea. I asked him, Ben, I want to interview you. He said, great, let's go to Hamilton Island for lunch. Ben Hennock, he's 35 years old, self-made entrepreneur. Started first business when he was 17 years old. He started Bosch it when he was 22, 23. At age 35, we are sitting in his private jet. So if anybody really wants to be inspired, Ben has made it from nothing, literally from nothing. Even myself, he's younger than me, but I get inspired and motivated. And half of the time I call him insane because he's truly just himself. He doesn't pretend to be anybody else. Yes, he does have beautiful life now. Ben, take us back.
Take us back. Geez, how far do you want to go back? I was raised in a housing commission house in Kalanga. One of three boys. I was the middle boy. My eldest brother, he's disabled, so I took over that father figure, the eldest brother figure. I remember, our main dinner that we had, on the table was Whitbix. So Mum was, working a 9 to 5 job, so she'd leave at 6 in the morning, and I'd have to get the brothers ready for school, and I'd have a dinner prepared, Whitbix by the time she got home, and the kids were fed, and we could fast forward it. I went to school, ended up moving in with my dad, and did the last year, so year 9, half of year 9 and into grade 10. I finished at St Paul's, which is a private school on the north side of Brisbane. I did the first week of grade 11 and had enough of it, and I just wasn't a school person.
That's it.
Only
first week, grade 11, and no more education.
No more education at all.
Except life education.
Life education, And my dad said, well, you want to leave school, you better find a job. So I went down to the local Hungry Jacks, and put in an application form, went and had an interview. And then while I was doing that, my dad was working in the background to get me an apprenticeship, into chefing. So I did a year's apprenticeship in chefing. And then I started working for a mate's parents' company washing trucks while I was doing that. And I just seen that there was a niche market.
How did you win a $5,000 radio contest?
Well, so every Thursday, I picked up that every Thursday this B105 fugitive was on the north side of Brisbane, and then being brought up on the north side of Brisbane, I had a pretty good idea of where places were. And this one Thursday, I went, let's listen to the clue. Listen to the clue, and it was Island of Pines or something like that, but it had something to do with Strathpine. And that was our local, the local Westfield where all the local Rugrats hung out, on the weekends and whatever else. So I just went, I reckon he's got to be there. So anyway, so we flew there and we parked the car up the top near the cinemas. And as we were walking down the escalators, there was one guy and two girls, and they were walking up the escalators. And I said, hey, are you the B105 fugitive? And he kind of looked at me like he wanted, like he didn't really hear what I said. And I said, oh, it's all right. I don't want to fight you or anything. I just asking if you're the B105 fugitive. And then the ladies go, what did you say? And obviously they just needed to hear it for confirmation that the question that I've asked. So I said, it's just a radio competition. I just had to ask, are you the B105 fugitive? And they said, yes, we are. And he's run off, and anyway, so
So when you wanted $5,000, is that when you decided to start?
Yeah. So what I did is I actually went out, and by this time I was filling Coke vending machines as well. So I was filling Coke vending machines, and I had a warehouse at Miller's Self Storage. And what I did is I went out and bought $2,500 worth of foam sponges from Clark Rubber, and this bag was probably the size of this jet, and it was in the middle of the warehouse. And every time I went back to load up the van after filling Coke vending machine, I had to move these sponges around. And every time it, made me, come on, man, you got to start this thing, come on, let's get it going. So then one day I just went, let's do it. So then I went out and got a loan to buy a ute. Got a loan under my brother's name for $20,000, personal loan to buy some pressure cleaners, and we just went from there. And that's how we started, and the journey started from there, and it was hands-on, and I got one. And we had the Miller's self-storage, and when you move into the Miller's self-storage, you get your own little truck. They had a little truck that you could rent. So this place had 3 trucks because it was decent sized miller self-storage. And we'd go and wash those on the weekend, and I'd train all my staff. You know, I'm talking 2 staff, you know, which are my 2 best mates that went to school with me. You know, I'd train them up how to wash a truck, and then once we got, you know, bigger clients, they knew how to wash the truck my way, and then they'd train the other people, and yeah, it's just grown from there. So, you know, Brisbane was our first, you know, first step. Then we went to Melbourne, then we went to Adelaide, Sydney, Townsville, Mackay, and now Perth.
And today you have 140 people.
140 staff, yeah, we wash 5.5, yeah, and we wash 5,500 trucks a week. You know, all around Australia. So yeah.
And all started from you getting your hands dirty.
Yeah.
And it wasn't success overnight. It was a journey of you working your ass off to get to the point where
big time. Yeah,
we are today.
Yeah, and I still wear, you know, the uniform proud. So, you know, I wear this uniform every day. So, you know,
One thing that a lot of people do when they start from nothing and when they become whatever people would call success these days, people become more arrogant. They're not as humble as you are. I mean, when you showed up today, you drove Rolls Royce. Yeah. And one of the videographers behind his camera, he asked me, is he the driver?
Yeah. And you know, I get that quite a lot. You know, we sit here and we can laugh about it and joke, but you know, I get that same scenario quite a lot, and so I'm used to it. But you know, it has effect in 2 ways. One, I can fly under the radar and say yes, I'm the driver, or you know, or the second thing is no. You know, I am Ben Hennock. You know, and here I am.
Starting from age 22, or starting your first business originally age 17, when did you find a desire within you to say, fuck it, I'm starting my own business?
I've always had that desire. I've always wanted to work for myself. I've always had that desire, and then just, like I said, moving these sponges around, I just went, let's do it. So, mate, you know, I didn't go to any of those seminars, and you know, where you go and listen to these people that think they've made it. I don't know how they think they've made it, you know, by selling seminar stories, but you know, I just went and just did it. You know, just go and do it. You know, and and you learn as you go. And no, there is people, you know, successful people that I've spoken to, and you know, that have mentored me or coached me along the way in my journey. That, you know, and that could be just from a transport manager at one of the big trucking companies. You know, a guy called Glenn Ashton that, you know, used to be the site manager at Linfox Larapinta Woolworths. You know, I'd ring him and certain things and just bounce questions off him, and you know, he's probably going, why is he ringing me, asking me these questions? You know, but I'd get his feedback, I'd ring you, you know, get your feedback. You know, there's a couple other guys, you know, that I'd ring, and you know, you just put it all in. I'd say put it in a boiling pot, stir it around, and you know, you just make it how, you know, you want to make it. And you know, you get these people that, you know, on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you know, what advice? Well, you know, how can I start? Well, only you know when you can start. Only you know when you're ready. You know, so yeah. Or is this industry right for me? Well, mate, if you're asking, is this industry right for you? Mate, you're in the wrong industry. Straight away. You know, you need to be passionate and just give it a go.
What drives you today? I mean, you're 35, you've been in business for a long time now, and you have a great lifestyle, but still you're a bulldog when it comes to work, and you're still driven more now than probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. I don't know, freedom, you know, the lifestyle outside of work, but you know, to get that lifestyle out of work, you have to, you know, there's got to be something behind it that, you know, that drives you and, you know, pushes you, and I think that, you know, having that freedom, and yeah, the kids, you know, the kids, you know, I don't want the kids just thinking, oh, you know, Dad's out partying every day and, you know, it never works. You know, they see the hard work and the times I'm not at home, and you know, the times where I come home, put them to bed, and then go back out to a job site, you know, and see the guys working, or you know, or firing out 1,000 emails. So you know, I've always had that drive. It's just, I don't know, it's just in me, and I'm always hungry for it. You know, always. You know, when people, you know, say, you know, you're an entrepreneur. I'm not an entrepreneur yet. I haven't even started. You know. So yeah, there's always something, you know, bigger and better, and yeah, you just gotta focus.
How do you balance? You have a beautiful wife and beautiful 2 children.
Yep.
How do you balance family life and you being you at work?
Mate, you just got to do it. There's no trick. There's no handbook on it. You just got to do it. You know, well, my father was never there. He was always working, so I never got that. I remember, you know, many years ago, I had a big meeting down in Melbourne with a multinational company, ruthless company, you know. But one of the procurement managers actually had a meeting, and it was on the same day that one of my kids was getting an award at school. And it was a last minute. It wasn't like an advance, you know, 2 weeks. It was like, hey, it's Monday. We need you down for this meeting on Wednesday. And I said, no, unfortunately, mate, you know, I'm going to my kid's school assembly, he's getting an award. Well, so you're putting work over, yeah, you're putting your family life over work, you know, this is a pretty big issue. I said, yeah, I am actually. And mate, you know, he kind of took a step back, and I thought he was really going to go off the handle, but he goes, all right, no worries, if that's the way you want to do it, you know, we'll just have to have the meeting without you, and what transpires. And I said, no problem, and we've still got that client today. So obviously it wasn't that big of a, problem for him, you know, that I was actually couldn't make the meeting to see my own son getting an award. So, you know, yeah. So,
What if somebody is starting their own business today? They are age 20. What challenges they're going to have throughout their journey?
Oh mate, there's many challenges. There will be plenty of challenges, and you just need to take them as a bump in the road. You know, don't think you're the only one that's ever had these challenges starting a business. By all means, you know, and you're not going to be the fucking last one out there either. You know, you just need to get through it. You know, take the emotional decision out of it. And make the decision without the emotion in it, and you'll make a decision a lot easier without emotional attached to it.
I know I heard you somewhere saying that you wanted to retire by age 40. Yes. I don't think you will ever retire, if you ask me, because it's within you just to keep going.
No, you're
but
right.
Next 5 years, what is the plan?
The next 5 years, there's a lot of expansions that we want to do in our current where our current customers are. And, we'd like to break into the overseas market, one being New Zealand, and then, I eventually want to get into America. So I love America, even if I do 6 months in America, 6 months here, but that's where I want to be in 5 years' time. I want to be, and not a multinational business. I want to be an international business, so.
There's no stopping for you.
No, there's no stopping. And, the sky's the limit, you're only governed by yourself. So, and you get the right people that can help you. I can't do it all myself, and then there's no way I've got to where I am by myself. It's a good team that you bring up through the ranks,
So if somebody's 20, they want to start their business, if that's what they want, what is one advice you can give them?
You need to be very passionate about what what you're going to do. Yes, there is going to be there is going to be those hard decisions. There are going to be those hard days, but you've got to be passionate about what you're doing, and that will see you get through to the other side of any of these problems. Dedication. You got to be dedicated to what you're doing. You have to. And you can't just, I don't feel like going to here today or doing there or going to this meeting. It's passion and dedication, I would say, would be the two big driving forces. Never give up, If you give up, you might as well give up now, because it does get tough, and even when you're at the, I'm not saying at the top, but when you get, the bigger you get, the bigger the headaches get, the bigger the problems get. So, the problems that get to my desk now, today, are either they're do or die decisions, And when I say do or die, you lose a customer or you keep a customer. You do or die that, someone's, gets hurt if you don't make a safety call on a certain piece of equipment. Financial decision. Did someone bring your brand into disrepute, do they need to be chastised for that, or, so there's, the decisions that come to my desk, mate, like I said, they're not little decisions, and that stuff keeps you awake and keeps you going too,
People that have seen you on Instagram.
Yep.
What's your advice on scaling a business?
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen overnight, and it'll gradually happen, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it happening, you'll know when it's going to go to that next level, and you'll know when it's right to go to the next level. I knew, and how I scaled it was geographically, not money-wise. So I scaled the business to move interstate to Melbourne, and then to Adelaide, to towns from Mackay, Sydney, and then Perth.
What is your best quote and advice to live by?
Take a bite and chew like fuck. And that's what you got to do. Take a bite and chew like fuck, because that's what you got to do. So if you're going to start a business, you need to take it, and just go for it. Don't hold back. Just go. Put all your effort into it, all your eggs into it, everything. And people say, put all your eggs into one basket. When you start a business, my friend, you have to. You got to put everything into it.
There's no plan B.
No, there's no plan B. Yeah.
Biggest risk you have taken?
Yeah, every day's a big risk. It's called chain of responsibilities. If one of my employees that I've never met, gets run over by a truck yesterday, it's still, mate, I can still end up in jail. So I take a risk every fucking day. Is a risk.
What was your first investment?
First investment was a business. I invested in a ute and some pressure cleaners. That was my first investment. So and then staff members, a state manager or a manager. That was the next investment. And real estate and stuff like that came later.
Favorite toy?
Favourite toy? Oh, at the moment it's probably the deck. You know, you can get from A to B pretty quick, and it's a pretty cool toy to have. But now, you know, I like boating. You know, believe it or not, I bought a 4.5 metre tinny, and that's the latest, greatest toy at the moment. Believe it or not, you know, I've got a 54-foot rib coming on Tuesday. You know, 6 months of build time, and you know, but I love a 4.5 metre tinny, and my two boys love it. You know, we just pull up anywhere on the beach. You know, we don't have to bloody wash the thing down when we get back home. You know, we put crab pots in. It's got a live bait tank. Yeah, it's a decent tinny. But hey, I love the tinny. I love a tinny.
Which is your favorite Australian super yacht? And that question comes from Sydney Harbour Lux Charters.
Probably Playpen. Playpen's it's a boat at the moment that's sitting in the Gold Coast City Marina, and you know, I was fortunate enough to have a look around it, and yeah, no, it is one magnificent boat. So, and it's about 150 metre, not foot boat. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Who would you get to build your next house?
Probably Antec or Landmark. I reckon might be the two I'd choose. No, DTL Construction's all the way. Hey, they build magnificent homes, beautiful. Two great builders that manage the projects. You know, still hands-on, and you know, and then you know, they're people that I look up to, and they look up to me.
Is Washit your only business, or do you invest in other ventures?
I invest in a few little ventures, but not much. You know, I've got a couple of donkeys, so a couple of racehorses, and I only bought one because of the name Baller. You know, I've got some property. Not heaps, because it's not something I know. You know, I stick to what I know.
How to enjoy the process?
You've got to step back and eventually enjoy it. But you know, people say, you know, it happens so quick. You know, I do have to find time and tell myself, you know, look, you should enjoy it to where you are today. And you know, the problem is that the drive that's still in you. You just go, nah, you know, I want more, I want better. You know, this is, you know, I want the next step. I want the next step. But you know, I often have to tell myself, you know, let's just sit down and, you know, just take on what you got and what, you know, where you've come from, and you know, to where you are now, and you should be enjoying it, and I do enjoy it. You know, I do enjoy life, and you know, the finer things in life. So you know, I am enjoying it.
You reckon?
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, at age 35, living your life the way it is, what is meaning to success to you?
The meaning of success. The meaning of success is just to you know, to be able to have a lifestyle that you know that you enjoy, but also have that flexibility to you know, have the family time with the kids. You know, I'm not saying we have endless money or whatever, but you know, we definitely can enjoy the finer things in life. But you know, it's also having the you know, the ability to, you know, have time with the family. You know, I know a lot of very successful people that they wouldn't even know, you know, what their school teacher of, you know, of their kids are. You know what I mean? So, you know, to me, that's not success. But they might have that 150 metre yacht, you know, that's parked up. But you know, so there's different things of being successful. You know, yeah.
But how come you're always positive? You're on social media every day. Feels like you got no problem in your world. You're always full of energy and always positive.
Yeah, well, you got to be. You know, why have negative? You know, yeah, okay, yeah, you know, we have negative stuff, but I just got a different way of showing it. You know, I just take the emotion out of the decision, make the decision, and move on. You know, let's, you know, nothing's got to be a drain. I know we all have problems, and we could all sit here and talk about all of our problems every day. But you know why? You know, it doesn't get us anywhere. Let's you know, put the positive attitude out there. Let's do stuff. You know, let's get on with it.
How important is loyalty in business?
Oh, loyalty's big time. Big time's loyalty. Yeah.
Not many people are using loyalty in business these days, because everybody wants fast money these days.
Yeah.
There's no such a thing as a fast money.
No, that's right. And loyalty, you know, there's one thing I've found in business is, you know, it's very, very small. It's very ancestral, especially in my industry. But there's certain, you know, you'll eventually come back around to these people that you met 5 years or 10 years ago. You'll eventually run into them again, or they'll know people that know you, and you know, yeah. So loyalty's a really big thing, because mate, if you start chopping, changing, cutting corners, you know, it'll get out there pretty quickly who you are and who you're about, and yeah.
How hard is to find good staff, and how hard is to keep them?
Oh mate, staff is my headache. You know, staff is really hard to find, and then to keep them is, you know, once you find a good one, it's even harder, because you know, there's very few out there. So yeah. And what I've found is in our industry, you know, I can't just advertise for a general manager of a truck washing company that's, you know, ran another truck washing company, because it's not one out there. So I'll bring a lot of my key staff up through the ranks. So they used to be truck washers. Then they went, you know, my National Health and Safety OH&S compliance manager. You know, he was a truck washer. Then he got his truck license. Then he went and done courses, you know, that I helped paid for and fund.
Trained them.
Yeah, train them, and you know, and then then they become loyal because they go, you know, he invested in me, and then and they know what they're talking to. So when they have a crack at someone that's washing their truck wrong or doing something unsafe, they can say, no, hang on, I used to be there, I used to do that, I know what I'm talking about.
See, a lot of people, what they don't realize, and a lot of people actually, stuff that is holding them back, thinking, I got nothing now,
Yep.
I can't be successful in my life, or can't make it financially, or can't make my family's life better. But this is a perfect example. Ben didn't inherit $200 million. Not that there's anything wrong. Sometimes obviously we inherited 200 million. Things will be a little bit maybe easier, but he didn't. It is possible. So he got his hands dirty from young age, starting to work in Hungry Jack's, washing trucks for other companies or other people, starting his own, working himself up. Today, we are in his jet. So it is possible.
It's possible.
It's not possible.
No, it's possible. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. Anyone. Doesn't matter who you are.
But
Anyone can do it.
you got to pay the price. And him paying price was he had to sacrifice so much. There was no holidays on start. There was no weekends off. So he had to, what I would call quite often, eat shit for him to be in position where he is today. And you know, him, like everybody else, he probably made a million mistakes, but he just kept going. Kept improving, and there's no giving up.
You know, I was out washing trucks at the night time on the weekend while all my mates were out partying and clubbing. I don't even know what a nightclub was. You know, don't worry, I'm making up for it now. Trust me. But you know, but back then, these guys, you know, they had no job, they had no money, and they're still out pissing. I don't know where they get their money from, but you know, they were still out getting drunk every Friday and Saturday night and wasting the weekend and moping around. They had no money, and you know, where I was out working and now, now I've got the time to go out and, entertain clients and go to clubs, but now I've got the money as well. So, I reckon it was a good journey in life that I took, and, it hasn't been tough, it hasn't been easy, and it's still not easy. So, yeah.
20 to 30, if you really focus and work hard, at age 35, nothing stops you from sitting in your own private jet.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Or be guest on yours.
There you go. Yeah, no, exactly. No, welcome on board.
Legend.
Righto, awesome. No, thank you. Awesome, thank you. Thanks much, appreciated, guys.